This is the 10th day of March 2023. And on this day, if you are an employer, you know that by yesterday you should have remitted to NSSF the contributions for your staff. If you're an employee, expect that your employer did that by yesterday. Now, the new remittances began this month. We have been having this conversation trying to understand, so what is it? What does it mean? Why do we need to get into new remittances with NSSF? This is, of course, the law that was passed in 2013, and then there was a whole court case, and there was a settlement now between the government, the labor union, the employers federation, and the National Social Security Fund, and they agreed, let's roll it out and see how it goes. Yeah. We are now joined by the acting managing trustee and CEO of the NSSF, David Mwangangi, to explain to us why we need to think about saving for retirement, and especially now these new requirements. David, good morning.
Good morning, Eric.
Thank you very much for joining us. Happy Friday.
I'm also happy to be here this morning. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Yes.
You're going to explain to us very many things. We're keen to learn.
Yes.
But to welcome you, let CT give you the day's proverb.
Yes, this is the final proverb from the country of Rwanda. If your mouth turns into a knife, it will cut your lips.
If your mouth turns
into a
knife, it will cut your lips.
Puzzling, isn't it?
Yeah. When you think about it just directly, it's it's obvious. If the mouth becomes a knife, it'll cut your lips.
Well, the knife's cut.
But what is the proverb saying, David?
Well, what will come out from you, whatever you're going to do, there are consequences. I would put it that way. If there is any change, literally, in the mouth is a knife, definitely it will cut whoever is near you. So the tongue is the nearest where you are. So I think that's what he's trying to say. So anything that happens in your home, devil is going to affect your family. It's going to affect you. Anything happening in my organization, if it's not good, it's going to affect the workers. So, and well, the opposite is true also. I want to believe that if something good, comes out of the mouth, the tongue will also benefit. So that's what I'm thinking about when you talk about the mouth turning to a knife. It would
and
cut
cutting
the
the lips.
The lips, because the lips are the nearest, and they are the ones major part of the mouth. Yeah, but you can tell us much more about that.
No, I cannot argue with your understanding of it.
Yes,
it makes perfect sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Thank you.
It makes a lot of sense. If something comes out of your organization, it affects the staff first before it affects the outsiders.
That's right.
If something good comes out of your organization, it affects the staff first before it affects the outsiders. So always work with knowing who are the likely beneficiaries and who are the likely victims of your actions. That's a good one, David.
Thank you. Thank you
That's a
very
good
much,
one.
Eric.
Now, this new NSSF contributions, are they in effect? Let's just start with the basics. Are they in effect?
Yes.
They are.
They are. As you have already mentioned that the Court of Appeal on 3rd February, after their act having been nullified, declared unconstitutional, the Court of Appeal made a judgment after listening to both sides, the petitioners and the respondents, and declared that there was nothing wrong with the act. And it declared that it was in order. And the Board of Trustees immediately declared, we're starting to implement immediately. So immediately, employers, even ourselves and organizations, started to implement immediately. So it's operational. And we expected all the employers yesterday to be able to submit their contributions to NSSF. So it's operational. And I believe, including KTN, you were also deducted, and the money was submitted to NSSF yesterday.
By yesterday. Close of business.
Close of business yesterday. So that's what I believe. It's operational.
Okay.
It's operational.
Now, let's get to understand this. We'll talk about the actual figures. Number one, how many contributors do you currently have to the NSSF?
We have 2.6 million. Definitely there are others who have been, what has been up in our country who are dormant, so it goes up to 2.7, but you find some have not been dormant, inactive, because maybe probably they lost their jobs, or they are no longer working, they retired. But 2.6 are the ones who are active at the moment.
And by active here, we mean that they are making monthly contributions.
Yeah, regular contributions.
Regular contributions.
Yes, correct.
How much do these regular contributions amount to every month before the March contribution? If you look at January, February, December into last year.
You're talking about a billion or so. You talk about $1 billion or so able to collect. I'm talking about for the old rates. When people are contributing 400 shillings. We know there are some employers or some members who are contributing more than the 400 voluntarily. Or some, when the Act became operational in 2014, before it was nullified, there were some who are paying them more than the 400. For example, I like using my example. I have a worker at home who since 2013 I've been deducting him 360 shillings and also matching his contribution of 360 to 720. That is since 2013. That worker now is almost about 100,000 Kenya shillings because of that contribution. Instead of 400, 700 every month. Yes, so you find there are some who have been contributing. So when you look at it, then you find about about 4 billion every month. Yes. Every quarter. Every quarter, about $1 billion.
$1 billion a month.
Yes, a quarter. Then you talk about 15, 16 billion in a year.
Okay. That's quite some amount.
Yes.
Now, the new contributions, of course, have increased. And then that's why we start talking about percentages of, it's based on the percentage of your income, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. Explain that now to us. First of all, just the new contributions and how they are structured, and then how much you hope to be collecting monthly, quarterly, yearly.
Thank you, Eric. It's a very good question. How much? If you're earning less than 6,000 Kenya shillings, you'll be 6% of 6,000 Kenya shillings, which is 360. Now, your employer is required to match that 360 to come to 720 shillings. So if you are earning less than 6,000, and that's what we are calling Tier 1, basic social security. The basic social security that must go to NSSF. Everyone must contribute 720 Kenya shillings, which goes to NSSF. Well, definitely if you earn slightly less than 6,000, when you calculate, it will slightly be less than the 720 because in case, but we expect everyone earns. In 2013 the 6,000 was like the minimum wage at that time, but now it's gone up, so we don't expect anyone earning less than, not unless you are what do you call that, temporary, you worked for only less than a month, very few days, very few days as a casual, and therefore it could not amount up to 6,000, and then you are deducted. So it could be less than the 720. But we expect everyone is earning, more than the 6,000. So if you earn more than 6,000, up to 18,000 Kenya shillings, so the difference between 6 and 18,000 6% of that comes to 720. And then the employer will match the same 720 to come to 1440. So that is what we call tier 2. Yeah. Now, your employer will match that another, 1080.
1080.
Not in tier 2, not 1080. I say it is the total is 1440.
Yes.
So the employer 720.
And you 720.
720.
Yes.
It comes to 1440. That's what we call tier 2. So when you add 720 plus 1440,
Yes.
it comes to 2,160 Kenya shillings.
Yes.
So that is a total money you are supposed to submit to NSSF.
That is if you're
Tier
earning
1
up
and
to
tier 2,
18,000.
up to 18,000 Kenya shillings. So the rest of the money, if you earn more than 18,000, you don't pay NSSF.
Okay.
You don't pay NSSF. So it's up to a maximum of 18,000. But you are welcome, Eric, and the listeners this morning. You can pay more. You can call it voluntary contributions, whatever amount you are welcome to contribute to NSSF. But according to the law, your salary up to a maximum of 18,000 Kenya shillings. Tier 1, 720. Tier 2, 1440. Now, the law provides that if you have another pension scheme like many organizations do have, then you can apply to RBA to be allowed to opt out of NSSF Tier 2 amount. But Tier 1 must go to NSSF. So basically, those are the figures.
Okay. So if your employer has another scheme, a pension scheme,
that's right,
they must apply to NSSF to be exempted.
To
or is
Retirement Benefits Authority.
To RBA.
To RBA. They are the ones who are supposed to be able to check whether you are compliant, everything is okay, you qualify to opt out to be paying Tier 2 to your pension scheme.
Okay.
Yes.
But does the law say that this 1440 is still a must?
It's a must. It's a must. It's a must.
So it's a must.
It's a must.
As long as you're earning anything up to 18,000 shillings a month, you must have a deduction of 2,160.
Correct.
From your pay slip.
From the pay slip, you earn more than 6.
The employer must take 720 to NSSF.
Yes.
And the employer can apply to RBA to have 1440 taken to the employer's benefit scheme.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's clear.
Why is it that you limit it to 18,000?
Why the limit? I said this law came to effect. It was ascended in December 2013.
Yes.
And when it was ascended 2013, it became operational from January 2014.
Okay.
Now, that time, because we didn't want, because this one affects the bottom line of a company. You as an employer, you're going to be affected because it increases your operating costs. And therefore, the drafters of this law and NSSF and the government and the stakeholders knew that it will affect us as employers. And therefore, that's the reason why it was capped, so that it does not affect the employer so much. Even the worker is also affected when it's deducted. And therefore, we wanted just to gradually, increase it, depending on the, from year to year. In fact, year 1, so the figures we are talking about were for year 1. Then year 2, it was to increase, year 3 and year 4. But where we are, listeners, is that we have spoken to ourselves. The board has spoken to year 1. So that's what we are talking about year 1. They are going to speak about what is going to happen year 2. So as we stand now, what we know and we are telling listeners and all of Kenyans is that the maximum 18,000, so that because that's manageable. Definitely the cost of living has gone up, the minimum wage has also gone up, and therefore you find now things are quite different. But we say let's start in a small way so that every Kenyan will be a bit comfortable. We don't want to hit so hard.
You know why I ask is because I'm looking at people who work in the public service.
Yes.
I'm looking at people who work in the Teachers Service Commission.
Yes.
And I'm just looking at people who are employed generally.
Yes.
There has been a statutory deduction to NSSF
Yes.
for the longest time.
Yes.
Says that was a very small amount. I think it was 200, 220.
Yeah, 200.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So are you saying that that deduction is no longer going to be there?
It's what has changed.
It is now 720.
Yeah, it is now. It is moved from my employer deducting me 200. He matches with another 200. So instead of the 200 now, you'll be deducting me 360 for tier 1.
Yes.
And you match the 360 for tier 2.
And that is for all employers.
You match the 360
For the first 6,000.
for the first 6,000. An amount above 6,000 to 18, you will deduct me 720. You match with another 720 to 1440 to 2,160. So that's the amount being deducted. So the 200 from me and the employer will no longer be there. It has been enhanced.
So what it means is if someone then earns more than 18,000, they're still going to pay 1440.
For tier 2. In total, 2,160.
So the tier 1 is capped, but then everybody else from 6,000 essentially onwards
Yes.
is now in tier 2.
In tier 2.
So even if you earn $1 million shillings, you are in tier 2.
Yeah.
Both. You pay both. Tier 1 you pay and tier 2. But up to a maximum of
18,000.
18,000 maximum. Not more than that. Will not touch your millions. Yes, we'll leave that out.
And I want to come back into this tier 2 because tier 2 is then you have an option of not remitting it to NSSF.
Correct.
You can take it to a private pension scheme.
Correct.
And this is if your employer has another pension scheme.
Another pension scheme that qualifies under the requirements of retirement benefit scheme.
What if I, as an employee, I'm a member of another pension scheme, which is not supported by the employer?
But you are on private.
Yes, I joined another pension scheme that is not run by the employer.
Oh, that's a good question. You have your own private pension scheme. What happens to you? Do you have to contribute the other amount?
Yep.
Because here it's talking about the employer applying, not to yourself.
Yep.
So I think that's something to look at. But the thing stand by is your employer who has another pension scheme.
You have joined a pension scheme on your own.
Yes.
And you're contributing to it.
Yes.
And say your employer has a pension scheme.
Yes.
And the employer has also been contributing to that, but you want to maybe opt out of one.
You want to opt out of one.
Yeah, but I want to still contribute the 1,440 towards a pension.
Yeah,
of my choosing,
of your choice. For the employer, I don't think there is an option because this is your employer and he's the one responsible. He's supposed to deduct, and because he's the one responsible, he knows that you are contributing.
Yeah.
Because once you say you want to opt out from the employer to your own, he may not know what's happening, and therefore, I think that's when you have no option. But I think the only option maybe if you had another private one quietly. Maybe that one to ensure if you want to contribute to one so that you stick so that the employer knows. And then that makes it easier because it's a law. It's a law because if you contribute outside there, the employer may not be aware, and he's supposed to match. How will he match? He doesn't have the information. So you must be done through the payroll so that he deducts you and he matches that. So if you want to move out, I don't think that will be acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So the employer can only match to a pension scheme that he's contributing to.
Yes. Yeah, he can match where he's contributing to, and it's a law. So therefore, he's compelled, and therefore he will have to deduct you and pay his own.
Okay.
So that to that pension scheme, whether the ones he has set up or to NSSF.
Okay.
Because you can decide you are not opting out, or you are tier 1, tier 2 goes to NSSF. Yes.
From your projections, looking at the 2.6 million active NSSF contributors, where previously you were looking at making about 4 billion shillings a quarter, with the enhanced scheme, how much are you looking at receiving, say monthly and quarterly?
Definitely, normally when you start implementing something, you expect the uptake to be not very high. But the years move on. You know, there will be changes. But also you are aware around also again the issue about opting out. We may not know who is going to opt out at the end of the day.
Well,
so
at least you know.
But at least
that's
we are
tier
talking
one.
about tier one. You talk about 16 billion. So we expect that to more than double that amount, from the 16 to more than 30 billion. You know, that is you know, in a year.
Yeah.
You know, so it more than double. When
So
you look around
basically-
from 400 to 720, it's more than doubles.
What we are saying is, just looking at tier one, NSSF is likely now to start receiving it. You've been receiving about 16 billion shillings a year. You're jumping to at least 32 billion shillings a year.
Yes, you expect more than
And
that.
if we say that, say 50% of the contributors remain in tier two, another extra. So NSSF is basically moving from a 16 billion shilling annual income to
Yes.
an over 50 billion shilling annual income.
Contributions, they're not
Contribution.
income.
Let's call it contributions.
Yes, they are contributions because they are members'
Annual
funds.
receipts.
Yes,
Right?
yes, they are from contributions. from
You'll be
members.
receiving about over 50 billion shillings
Yes,
from an organization that has perennially been receiving less than half of that.
Yes.
Now, capacity to absorb this money comes in. Do you have capacity to actually start receiving 50 billion shillings plus a year,
yes, we do have the capacity.
and to safeguard that as our savings?
We have the capacity to do that. Our system, we are ready, because this is something that we've been waiting for many years. And for your information, when we receive these monies, we take this money to invest. We don't keep that money. So as seen every month where the money comes in, we take this money to fund managers to invest. And they'll be able to invest maybe in Nairobi Stock Exchange. They'll be able to invest in government paper. At the moment, over 50% of our investments are in government paper. So as the money comes in, we mob out. We don't keep any monies as NSSF. We don't. So we send it
Currently,
to
over
government.
50% of your money is supporting the government in development
In development.
by
yes.
lending directly to the government. The other 50%, where does it go?
Well, the others are invested in different areas. I say it in the money market. I mean, in the stock exchange or quoted equities, you have about 22% of that. Then you have in properties.
Yeah.
You have in properties.
Yeah.
So
So in real estate, you have about another
yeah, and then
20%?
real estate. You have real estate. You have Nairobi Stock Exchange,
Yeah.
investment in premier companies in this organization.
Yeah.
You talk about the East African breweries, you talk about Safaricom, you talk about KCB, we'll put our monies. So that money is in those areas. And therefore, when it comes, we give it out for investment.
Yeah. Okay. The reason I was asking about capacity is, you already in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, NSSF is one of the biggest players. In fact,
That's right.
in fact, if I'm not wrong, you're the biggest player in the Nairobi Securities Exchange.
Yeah, we are a major player.
All right. Now increase that by like this is over 100%.
Yes.
You basically run the Nairobi Securities Exchange.
Yes.
Of course, there's a restriction of how much you can put into equities, how much you can put into real estate, how much you're putting into government paper.
That's right.
But there is still a big muscle.
Yes.
Okay.
But definitely.
Are you
we
seeing where I'm going, City?
I think Mwangangi knows
Yes.
where you're going, so let's let him respond, because he's ready to respond to the question that you haven't asked.
I said we have the capacity. And what I'm saying, what is going to happen is that we have to look out. Which other places are we able to invest? We don't restrict ourselves to Kenya here, because the East African region is a big market also now. Outside East Africa, those are other places. So they don't restrict ourselves to Kenya only. We must be able to look out.
Does the law allow you to invest outside the country?
Yes, we are supposed to offshore. We're supposed to do that, but we haven't done
Is
that.
there a limit as to what the percentage that you can invest outside the country?
Oh yes, there are also limits.
There's a
but
cap.
Yeah, there's also capping, or where we're investing, there are all cappings, but those can also still be looked at.
Okay.
In case we realize then the market is smaller.
Yes.
I think this is something we can engage the Retirement Benefits Authority and the Board of Trustees to be able to expand that, where we can be able to invest. But at the moment, mostly we've been focusing here in Kenya.
Let me ask a direct question.
Yes.
The Tanzania economy is booming and growing faster than ours.
Yes.
Are we investing in Tanzania?
No.
Have we thought of investing in Tanzania?
We have thought. In fact, investing in the region, whether Tanzania, whether Kenya, Uganda and other countries, Rwanda, yes, we have.
I'm actually focusing on Tanzania because the things that the Tanzanians are doing, they are industrializing as we watch.
Yes.
Yes. They are doing things that we've talked about for decades, again, as we watch.
Yes.
So that is clearly an economy that is taking off.
Yes.
And thinking as a layman, that would be perhaps a good venue to invest,
yes.
and it would be the right time to invest, so that as it grows, so does your money.
That's right.
Yes.
And that's where we talk about looking out.
Now, question number one, that I always have question one, and then there's an appendage to it. 1B. When the fund we allocate to various investment agencies come back, what percentage of this does the pensioner or the person who contributes to the scheme benefit? Let's say this money that I've been investing for the last X number of years.
Yes.
Let's say after 10 years, 20 years, my saving is 100,000.
Yes.
Do I just get the net of what I have saved, or does NSSF give me an interest on what I have been putting in?
Thank you. Very good question. Definitely, we talked about investment. And when you talk about investment, definitely we talk about rate of return. We must be able to give you something. The money should not be idle. And that's why we are there. As an organization, our mandate is to register members. We register members, we collect contributions, and invest those contributions. Yes, so when we invest, we should be able to give you a return. In 2020-2021, we declared a 10% interest rate on your contributions. So we have been giving interest to our members over the years. Over the years, we've been giving, and that's why I'm saying we declare 10% interest on members' funds in 2020-2021. Yes, so we do give interest.
We take a break. We continue the conversation. An interesting one this morning with the acting managing trustee and CEO of the NSSF, David Mwangangi. He's here with us in the studio to explain to us new NSSF contribution scheme is in effect starting this month. Yesterday was the deadline for remittances to the NSSF. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean to the institution, the NSSF itself? What does that mean to the country? What does that mean to you as a contributor? And we are talking about it being statutory, especially for those ones who are formally employed. We'll also talk about those who would like to join the scheme from the informal sector. If you are just an individual contributor and you're thinking, okay, I'd like to be putting in some at least 720 towards my retirement, how can I join NSSF? How can I be checking how my money is doing within NSSF?
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
With the NSSF acting managing trustee and CEO David Mwangangi. He's here with us to tell us about NSSF and the contributions. Let's start with the first one. Those who are formally employed are netted, because these are statutory contributions. Every registered employer must contribute for their employee.
Yes.
At least tier 1 of the 720 to
That's
NSSF,
right.
Tier 2 of 1,440 if they have not been authorized by the Retirement Benefits Authority to direct it elsewhere, they'll bring it to NSSF.
Yes.
How about those who are not in formal employment?
Thank you. Very good question. I want first to go back to the basics.
Okay.
Why the act? Because that's very important. Why the act came is because our culture of savings is supposed to enhance savings in the country. And once we increase our savings, we have more money within our country for development. Some of the countries you've just mentioned this morning, you will find that because of the citizen savings, they are able to fund in more infrastructure within the country. So one was to increase savings within the country. The other very important reason why we have the Act is because we want to, to enhance the benefits that you get after retirement. Because many of us, the contributions have been little. We don't have a pension scheme, and therefore, when we retire, what we call poverty in old age comes in, because now I don't have energy to be able to work and the number to support me. So you find you were living very nice life when you were working, but now you've gone to poverty. But once you're able to increase, the savings, at the end of the day, the benefits will be more. So we want people to retire with dignity. And that's why the increased rates are there. So that once people retire, they are not able to work, they retire with dignity. In fact, according to the standards, at least you should be able to get back 40% of what you are earning during your working life. So if you are earning 100,000 every month, when I retire, I should have at least 40,000 every month. So we are trying to increase the benefits, to increase the pension, at least 40% according to ILO standards. Now, the second thing, very important again, is that we want to enhance coverage. There are many Kenyans that are left out. The informal sector, what we are asking. Now, the Act covers them. They need also to be able to save for their retirement so that they can be able to retire with dignity. And therefore, the informal sector, the mama boga, the matatu operators, the boda-bodas, all Kenyans, even when you are a farmer, you are welcome to save. We have a product called Abahaba. In this Abahaba product, you encourage you to save 25 shillings every day. So 25 shillings times 30 days in a month, you're talking about 25 times 3, that comes to 750.
Yes.
750 Kenya shillings. So you're able to save 750 Kenya shillings for yourself as an informal sector operator, as a mama boga.
Every month.
Every month. So all Kenyans, anybody in Kenya is supposed to save.
How do you...
And now, the only person who is exempted by the Act, if when you are a foreigner and you are here for a short period, less than 3 years, you come to Kenya, but you don't stay longer than that, you are exempted. But all the other Kenyans are supposed to save with NSSF. Mama bogas are supposed to save with NSSF. Now, how then do you go about it? How do you go about it? I think that's the other question we were asking.
Yes.
Now we using technology to be able to save, to be able to. You don't have to come to NSSF as a mama boga. We have a USSD which you can use. In fact, even first to register. You can register star 303 star 303 hash. You start from there, whatever you want. You can register using that USSD.
Star 303 hash.
Yes. If, for example, you have forgotten your NSSF number, you can also use that. Star 303 star 55 hash to find out what is your NSSF number. You can also use that to check your statement. You can use that to check your statement.
The same 303
Yes.
star 55 hash.
No, 55 is of the ID.
It's just to find out your number.
Star 303 hash.
If I do star 303 hash, let me just give you what it brings me. A suite of services. Number 1, member services. Number 2, partnerships. Number 3, tenant purchase scheme. Number 4, validate compliance certificate. Number 5, check your NSSF number.
Yes, that it will show you. The other one, another interactive one, we have a WhatsApp number.
This one does not. So is member services where I register?
Yes, that's the member services.
If I do member services, I do 1. It tells me enter national ID number. Let's see if it knows my ID. I have entered. Enter your year of birth. Okay, so it takes me through.
Yes, it's an array of takes you through that.
So this is how I register now.
That you register with that.
Right.
Now, the other one you can check, I say it a WhatsApp number, which is interactive, 0704 303 303. 0704 303 303. It's a WhatsApp number.
You can't call this.
Yes, you just go to WhatsApp and then you're able to interact with NSSF. You say I, then it asks you what do you want, what services do you want. So again, you can get also your statement.
Okay.
You can get your statement. Definitely, you talked about NSSF mini application on your mobile app. You can also be able to use that to download. So using that, you can be able to register. You can be able to check your NSSF number. You can be able to check your statement, among other services.
You said that one can contribute daily, the 25 shillings per day.
Yes.
So what is it that you're supposed to do? Like at the end of every day, you remit this via M-Pesa?
Yes.
Or via Airtel Money?
Yes. Yes.
So 25 shillings, is that a minimum or is that a maximum?
It's a minimum.
It's a minimum. Of 25 bob, eh?
Of 25 bob.
Or 750 a month.
750 a month.
Now, NSSF usually has penalties for late payment, all those things. So if I'm a voluntary contributor, at what point do penalties and all those...
no, they don't come in. It will reflect in the system as a voluntary contributor.
Okay.
And the system will recognize that and it will not penalize you.
So if I'm late, if I don't have money at the end of this month, I've not contributed my 750, it's okay.
It's okay.
When I get money, I can now put 1,000.
Yes.
Can I be both? Can I be a voluntary contributor?
Plus.
Oh, yes, you
formal
can.
contributor.
You can. I have done that also myself. You looked at my statement. It has also voluntary contributions. So you can have all that. The employer deducts you, and you also send your voluntarily. You can use, if you want to pay NSSF, we have M-Pesa number, 33 00. 33 00. Using that M-Pesa, you can be able to pay. Definitely to ask you your account. Your account is your NSSF number. And that's the reason I told you. The first thing is star 303 star
5 hash.
55 hash. You can now get your NSSF number. And then you can use that as an account. So once you go to the M-Pesa pay bill number, 33 00, then that account, you can be able to pay. It will give you a message that and you have received the money. NSSF will bring you back a message saying that you're paid.
Okay.
And then using, again, that you can check the system, the statement, how does it look like? Yes.
With the other retirement benefit schemes, I am able to say, get some rebates, I'm able to get a mortgage, I'm able to get other benefits as I still continue contributing, looking towards retirement. NSSF?
At the moment, that's no. But under the Abahaba product, once we are fully implementing the Act and people are contributing regularly, it allows you to be able to get part of your savings for some of those investments. After 5 years or 10 years, you want to get some money for maybe to buy a house, a mortgage, whatever it is, you can be able to get part of that money. And the reason is that we want to encourage. You remember many of our young people, when you tell them about retirement, I'm 18, I'm 25, I've started working, telling them, you're going to get your money at 60 years, it doesn't make sense. And therefore, to encourage many, that's why we have that product. That's why we have that product called Ababa. You can get your money, half of the money, within after 5 years. Now, so currently the way things have been, because this has just been a provident fund, you mostly a lump sum at the end of your retirement, whether at 50 or 55 or 60 years, whatever time you are paid, is just a lump sum payment. Now, under the new Act, it is supposed to come up with other new products.
Has it come up with new product?
The product, we now started developing them. unemployment benefit, maternity benefit. Now it's just now rolling out the act. Currently, we have several products. The one is age benefit. So when you work at you retire at 60 years, you have a letter of retirement, you apply, you are paid. That's what we call age benefit. If you leave earlier at 50 years, you can also apply and be paid your money at 50 years. Well, we call that withdrawal benefit. And then if you are living in this country, we have what we call a migrant benefit. So you are migrating from Kenya and you don't want to continue, who are able to pay you. If you become incapacitated, you become sick, you are not able to work again, you can also be paid your money. And well, we have also something little we give out called funeral grant. When a member passes away, we give something little to tell your family members,
to the registered beneficiary, to the registered next of kin.
To the next of kin.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the act, we are talking about 10,000. We'll be able to give you 10,000. To support the family in burying you. So we expect to come with more products.
10,000. Want to go very far to help with the funeral expenses. Make it 100,000.
Make it 100,000.
Yes, 10,000 will not.
To do that, we have to do the act.
No. These are some of the products.
Yes.
Envisaged.
10,000.
Well, it was something just to tell you, Paul. But once the fund becomes, we're able to enlarges, when the cake is big, you find you can be able to offer many more products.
But Mwangangi,
yes,
NSSF has a massive cake. Okay? It's not a huge cake, it's massive.
It's massive.
It is massive. And when products of this nature are rolled out,
yes,
I'm listening to the products and I'm seeing NSSF have thought through what it is that contributing members would desire.
That's right.
So these products make it attractive. The membership that you're looking for will be attracted when they look at the things that bother people on a daily basis and the things that, what do Kenyans contribute to most socially? It's these things.
Yes. Burial.
Illnesses, burial. Yeah. So when I talked about 100,000, I was just alerting you to people need to feel that there is money that can be given that will move that process forward in a decent way. That's
right.
it.
Yes.
There's some amount you might as well not give because it's not even a drop.
And definitely, by the way, you don't contribute for it.
Yes.
You're just being a member.
Yes.
And then apart from the other products, other benefits that you acquire, when I pass away, my family is just given something. It's not a separate, you contribute for it. It comes from the bigger pot, as we are saying, to be able to tell you thank you. But I hear you. Once we are fully implemented and after some years, you can be able to look back at these benefits.
You see why I
because you don't have a separate contribution. See how it can be enhanced.
You have competition, Bwana Mwangangi.
Yes.
Your competition is insurance companies.
That's right.
Now, some of the things we mentioned, they offer.
They are offering those extras.
Yes. They do. And they also give you insurance. The things that you mentioned are insured.
Yes.
An accident, they insure it even. And you're told upfront, this is what you can get.
You can benefit.
In the course of, should you lose a limb, should you be incapacitated.
Yes.
Percentages go up depending on your level of incapacitation.
Yes.
And that is irrespective of how long you've saved. So long as you've saved beyond 6 months, a year, whatever they stipulate, these are the things that they tell you. So I'm simply saying, given the massive size that you people are, you're not an insurance company. But who says you cannot work with an insurance company to provide these services? Who says?
Sure, we can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, we can. Yes. So we will look at it. Okay. Let's roll out. And Kenyans, please save with us the new rates. And once you're going to do this, we'll be able to roll out many more products and attractive products.
Yes. If you find out today, Bwana Mwangangi, that your employer of the last 2 employers ago were not contributing to NSSF, what do? You were deducted, but they were not contributing. You moved from that employment to somebody else, and now in fact you're in the 3rd one. But now you realize,
there's no evidence of them having remitted the money to NSSF.
Yes. How do you address all these issues?
Thank you very much. Yes, this thing happens. It happens, Eric. And when you realize that they didn't submit, you need to let us know. If you are here in Nairobi, we have several branches. The nearest where we are in near CMC or near Toyota Kenya, we have an office there, a branch. We call it Industrial Area Branch. We have another one in community where NSSF is, Hill Branch. We have another one in Bruce House, another branch. You have another one in Isili, in Burumburu and the Westlands. So you need to report to share with us that they have not been contributing. NSSF will be able to take action. Normally it does compliance. It visits these employers on a regular basis to be able to assess whether these employers they are complying. But sometimes when you have a big organization, you may find we may not have gotten it. But when you give us the information, we'll follow them up and we'll ensure that your money is paid. Normally they are also, that's why it's compulsory, so they can also take you to court. Normally they take employers to court who have not been complying, because that's a very serious offense. Deducting members, workers' funds, monies, contributions that they are not submitted is an offense.
Two questions that are coming in. One is from Winnie Talam, who says that NSSF should provide yearly statements to their members without the member having to request. Like, I should be receiving every end of year, I should receive, a statement of account telling me this is how my contributions have been doing, this is how much interest they've earned, like in the other pension scheme.
Thank you. That's a very good question. That I say it, you can check yourself every day. You can check because that's provided for. But what you're saying is good. We'll be moving there to be giving you before even you ask. Because some Kenyans are very busy, and therefore going back, you may find it's a job you're going to do. So we'll be moving to that direction. We should be giving you regular statements to be able to see without even asking.
Okay.
So that when you need it, you go back and check. Did I get this statement? Yes. Like the other financial institutions do. Thank you.
Keep career, and this one is now to your technical team, of course, not to you directly.
Yes.
They're saying that they're trying to do *303 *1# to query for their statement. It says the service is having technical problems.
Is there one to this thing? I thought it was 303#.
*303#.
Yes.
Then you can do *303 *1# or *555#. So when it says when he's going to query for statements, he's not able to.
Yeah, probably there may be a technical problem. There may be power outage, and they see power outage, which I don't know now as I sit here. It can affect our system.
Your technical people are watching.
Yes, I believe you can check and tell us why we are not able to go through that USSD to give us information.
Asante.
Yes, thank you.
David, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.